man Scotty G, money earning Mount Vernon right here.
Well, that was our rivals right there. New Road, money earning. The Vernon just had something different. Like, it wasn't suburb really. It was a Bronx Harlem vibe. We just always had beef with them. They had the girls over there, but it was always a battle. It was good to have for memories. It was some drama, but it wasn't like today's drama. We used these joints back then, so it was all love. Word up. Always gonna be a rival with us.
He spoke some truth. It was a different era from when he was in school and I was in school, but the rivalry was still ferocious. And yeah, they had the girls. You know, it was Mount Vernon, money earning. Even when there was, I'm not gonna mention it, but it was a serious incident, you know, where things took a turn for the worse for the rivalry on Mount Vernon grounds back in the day. But
talk about that a little bit, King.
well, there was a shooting.
Right.
So things got heated to that point. You know
Right.
what I mean? Right on money earning high school, or Mount Vernon High School grounds. But it was always ferocious, no matter whatever. To this day. Well, I don't know how it is today.
Word, New Row. I played New Row High with Big Joe, Coop, Horse, the crew, Holly Holland, and Vince Hearn and the crew. We had good games with them. You know what I mean? We had great games in the park. We had great games at the high. Special game I remember is when, like I told him, I was a young man playing in the park. The man Carl Walker, great dude from Mount Vernon, good shooter and everything. Came to the park. I had to stick him. I was a young boy. He let me up for like 45, no lie, 45. Great dude, but he took me to the side and he told me, yo, keep your head up, young man. You got a great game. And then I got a chance to light them up later.
Yes, sir.
So he taught me a lot, you know what I mean? He showed me a lot, taught me a lot. I learned a lot from Biggs, I learned a lot from BK, I learned a lot from Rich Page, Ho-Ho, John Hunter. I learned a lot from all them guys. They taught me how to have heart and never be scared and do what I do. That's it.
Go ahead, my brother.
So what up?
Then you go next year.
I'm a little younger than that. Came in, played 95, 96, I graduated. My rivalry was against my boy, God bless, CO. My boy Colin, it's my people, Joe McGurdy, guy GB. Who else? Yacht. You know what I mean? That's my rivalry, you know. Danger a little older. Your cousin a little older. He was with my cousin Jay. God bless my cousin J1. My big cousin. My big cousin was out there in the field. Him and Krabby and them was going. Him and B Love, shout out to B. They was all going. They was all you know, getting it in. But my game, you know, my time, we played against them in we lost to them in the county center by like 2-3 points. You know what I mean, that was my rivalry right there. We had the great games against them. I salute all of them. Them dudes, I love their brotherhood. You know what I mean, that's a tight group of guys we played against, man. You know? Football is my shit too, though. You know, New Road Football Nation.
Talk about it.
Football is my shit all day. We, you know, rocked out. That was our shit, you know.
That's right.
Coming up, that was, you know, our biggest rival. We know we always push the edge on y'all football.
Facts.
That was our shit, but basketball, listen, man. We ain't came with our A game, nigga. Listen, man, it was over. You know what I mean?
Real talk.
It is real talk, but
Yes,
you know,
sir.
back then when we played, you know, everybody played with their fucking heart. You know what I mean, we had a lot of guys that was nice. You know what I mean, but if you ain't had that heart, you know what I mean?
You had to have that heart. You couldn't get
Had
on
that
that
heart getting on that
Talk
court,
about it.
bro.
Couldn't
Had
get on
that
that
heart,
court
you
if
know
you
what I
didn't
mean?
have that heart. If you didn't have that heart, don't get on the court.
Definitely.
I'm gonna go back to another story. I remember another story when football time was coming up in the park in Mount Vernon, Memorial Field. We running, it's a football game, it's like 12 of us. Oh, don't worry, we're gonna go to the football game. We go to the football game, we look up at the stands, it's like 40 of them standing there, bro. Like 40 of them up there in the stands. It's like, whoa, whoa. So our thing was, yo, we gonna walk around the track, see what happens. If they start coming down, that means it's on. We walk around the track, one by one, they coming down. Like, oh, what we do now? We had 2 players and 1 flag. Go outside the gate, here they all come. My brother shoots 1 flare out and they back up. We start running, they start running. My brother shoots 1 more flare gun out, flare at him, boom. One dude yelled, "They out of flares." Man, they chased us all the way to New Road, man. We was on the tracks and everything, running to New Road. That's a true story. And then another story is, we playing ball against the man, Terry Steele. I know you know him.
Yes,
Terry
yes,
Steele,
T.
Mike
Steele.
Waterbury, you know him. Yes, we playing against them. We in New Road. We got them dudes 25-2 in the first quarter, pimping. 25-2. Terry Steele comes down the court. Yo, Bob, come on, ease up. Bob's like, nope. Trap him now. Yo, what? That's the truth. And to this day, that summer, Stills came over and played with us in the summertime. He went and let us live that down. He used to be like, man, y'all tell that story, I ain't coming to the game next week. He used to be like, yo, just chill, man, you with us, man, chill. He'd be like, I ain't going for real, bro.
That's
I don't want to
beautiful.
hear that story. I don't want to hear that story.
Wow.
Because we used to mess with him like, yo, Still, man, we had you 25-2. He used to be like, man, I don't want to hear that shit. That's a true story, too. Though. We had great
Oh, that's
times.
beautiful.
Had great times on that court.
No
Great
doubt.
times. I mean, we had our fun, we had our little arguments and fights. But the thing about now, today's game and back then we had our arguments. We had a little fight. But like next week we was chill. That
Yes,
was the
sir.
funniest thing.
Facts.
Like, just like I told you, like that Young Life thing. Like we used to fight and then Richardson will come and get us and we got to play in Harlem together. It's like, yo,
Right.
but we used to do that. That's what we did. It wasn't like today. Like today, they can't get together now. Like we could get together, have an argument, have a disagreement, and then we balling next week. Like we brothers next week. You know what I mean? It was like that. These kids gotta understand that, man. You can have an argument and still be cool with it. And the shit that we talk, I know them kids couldn't take it.
Right.
You know that too, man. You know that too, man.
Exactly.
Keep it real.
We be in school for bullying.
Say it again.
Yeah, harassment.
Them kids
yeah.
couldn't take it right
Yeah,
now.
no, couldn't take it
Come
at
on,
all.
man.
Yeah, we be in the
on.
principal office the next day with their parent in the office.
Couldn't
Why
take
you messing with my kid?
Couldn't take. They
I
couldn't
ain't messing
take
with
it.
him. I'm just talking some trash.
That's
Let them know.
all.
Yeah, that's
it
all.
was just trash talk.
Yes.
Then when I see you in the park, I'm gonna bust your ass up there.
There you
Be
go.
like, I can't wait to see you.
Yes.
Come up there.
Yes.
That's
Let's
how
see.
it was.
No
We
matter who you play, you could look forward. We got
Yes.
to be a win 3-4 weeks. You fucking tuning your shit. You getting together.
You was
getting your
ready
shit
for
right.
that. You was
You
just
get
ready for that
one
game.
game.
and I love what he
It's a
said.
regular season game, but you making sure you gonna show out.
Right. And I love what he say. When we get our ass busted or
Yeah.
you think you busted, we remember that shit. We go home to do 10 extra push-ups,
Yeah.
squat, sit-ups, because I'm going to pay your ass back
Yo,
tomorrow.
I remember me and my man the key, man. We lost to somebody. Me and this dude was in Lincoln Park shooting. We shot, I think, 50 foul shots each and like 100 jumpers. Me and him each. I'm getting the rebound for him. Yo, you gotta make them. You gotta make them. And then we ran the steps in 64 Lincoln. That shit is 8 flights, homie. It's 2 sides. 10 times on this side, 10 times on that side. We didn't go home till like 3 in the morning, and we had to go to school the next day. That's how dedicated we were. So I mean, the kid will tell you that.
Yes.
That cut hair, he'll tell you that. We had that. That's how dedicated we were. We was mad we lost, but we knew we had to get our shit better. You got to get your shit together.
Lost in
And
the regular season, you know.
and
it
niggas
mean
was
y'all
in
the
your ear like
playoffs.
them niggas from the Burners coming after y'all. Like, we got to
One
get
thing
this.
for sure, though, you know,
I'm
New
telling
Mount
you,
Vernon
that's how
making
it
the
was.
playoffs, no matter
That's how
what
it
league you
was.
was in, where you was playing at. We lost. in the regular season, we gonna meet these niggas in the playoffs.
That's
again,
it.
nigga. We gotta
Or
get our
if
shit
they
together.
lost,
You already know they coming for you.
You already know a car's coming outside your
Coming
bro.
for
You
you.
know we coming to get you. Like, yo, but y'all lost. We talking to y'all lost.
Yes,
Yo,
yes.
we coming to get you though. You better not lose the white planes.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Yo, that's how it was.
And
That's
it was
how
friendly
man.
competition, man.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
Man. It was great time.
With much respect and love, you know what I
Great
mean?
times. We had great
Yeah.
times with each other though.
And we got
Great
between the
times.
lines. It was competition, but after that, you know, and before that, it was all love. But we got between the lines, man.
Between the lines,
Yeah.
was enemies like we.
Yes.
But that's how it's supposed to be. But I don't know you between these lines,
That's
bro. I
right.
give two shits about you.
Right.
I'm doing you dirty between these
Yes.
lines. I'm letting you
Right,
know.
bro, right.
Call up everybody in the stairs too and let them know. Yes, I'm doing you dirty between these lines.
Yeah, I
But
love
when
it.
we get from between these lines, we cool. We
Cool.
can go do whatever. I'm with you. You know
Oh,
what I
man.
mean? That's how it was, though. I had great times in that 4th Street Park. I had great times.
Lincoln
Lovely
Park,
games,
all
man.
that. Yeah, I love
Lincoln
you.
Park. I had great times. Great times.
Harley too. We played out
Harley,
Harley.
yeah.
Back when Black was running it.
Yeah.
Word.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they did. That shit used to be nice out there. Harley Park,
Yeah.
early 2000s used to be running.
And the most beautiful thing is, people, we still on love, man.
That's it. We grow up to be
Yeah,
grown
we
men
grew up to be young men.
with kids our
Yes.
own,
To
and I'm
men,
letting my
yeah.
son know,
It's all
you better not
good.
let them niggas from the Vernon chump you. You better get strong, because they gonna talk shit. So you better
Talk
talk
right
shit
out your
back.
game.
Right.
I used
right out
to, I used
your
to tell my
game.
son that all the
Mom
time.
and pop
Yo,
and
as soon as
family.
you play them, they're gonna talk shit. You better talk shit
Shit
back.
back, right.
And I'm quite sure that man's father told him the same. New
Yeah,
York
yeah.
gonna talk shit. You
Yeah.
better talk shit back.
Pops
That's
used to
how
let
it
me
was.
know. I go there, but I had that love, cause
That's it.
just being, man. It's hey.
But no, what it was, it's the competition. Like you knew you had to be on your
level.
A game. You had, if you didn't bring your A game, you was gonna get disrespected. That's it. Both sides. That's true
Game
story.
cracked.
If you didn't bring your A game, you was gonna get disrespected. Both sides.
Definitely was
That's
game
a true
cracked.
story. But when I was in high school, it was only 3 years. Not this 4-year thing that they got now. It's 3 years. We smoked them every 3 years, baby. Look it up. We smoked
got
them
it.
every 3
Like
years.
you said, overall, yeah. Overall,
Yes.
Bill definitely got that in basketball.
And I want to say that was the year what?
Football.
You, Horse, and
Me, Horse,
Duke.
Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big
Coop.
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 Yes.
Football is a landslide.
Yes. Football, that was.
Football is a landslide.
But football, and then football was good. But the only thing
not to doubt y'all players. I had some nice
Yeah.
niggas coming through
But
good football.
the whole thing about it, football, y'all still showed up and
just
talked
all
shit.
shit.
It was still Clyde and Jimmy's the best 2 years. But that BK nigga had the great game, homie. BK could score, BK played D, BK was tough, bro.
Yes.
Tough, bro. Was tough, bro. BK was tough.
All right, and first and foremost, thanks for keeping Mount Vernon and the Knights alive, man. I think it's very important that that the story keeps on being told, as the generations going on. So, salute to you, brother, in regards to keeping everybody engaged in history going forward. So, much respect on that. In regards to my time in Mount Vernon and playing basketball, as you know, Mount Vernon has always been the powerhouse of basketball. Always, dating back to Ray and Gus Williams, Rodney Scooter McCray, and when we was coming up, there was only one high school in Mount Vernon. So to make even a second or third string player on a Mount Vernon high school team could be a starter anywhere else in Westchester County, and that's facts. But I was a two-sport guy. I played both on baseball and the basketball, but I never knew how to try out, or I never knew how to make the team because I just played street ball. And it was one day I was in the gym, I think in 9th grade, and I was playing with Graviano. I don't know if you remember Graves. And It was like, so we was in the gym playing pickup ball, and I was playing with him. We were playing like, I think it was a 2-on-2 or 3-on-3, and I was getting busy. And he was like, "Yo, why you don't try out for the team? Why you don't play?" I was like, "Yo, I don't even know how to try out for the team." So he told me to come out, and I never played the freshman year, but I played when we was in 10th grade. We was on the JV, and and at that time, Troy Hyman, he was the darling of, I would say, of that, because Troy played both sports too, and he played in freshman year, and I got to know all you guys during that time period, and that was a fun experience too. We had me, you, if you remember, Danny McQueen was part of that team, and it was great, and Frank Rollins, the tree, with Paul Bratches. So and I think me, you, Frank, Paul, and Troy, we were all tight knit. We was tight knit.
And Tyrone Scott.
And Tyrone Scott. That's right. That was good. Yeah, Tyrone Scott.
Yeah.
And then I remember, come you and Troy got pulled up the last few games to play varsity, if you remember.
Yes.
With that team.
Right.
And you guys were getting busy. So you guys were our superstars on that team. And then I remember, we were talking about this earlier, and I was just reflecting with the George Wallace thing that you told me. So I remember everybody was like, "Yo, you ain't gonna make no varsity team." They was telling that was the word. And one thing that about me, you can't tell me what I can't do, or you can't. I've always felt I had a chip on my shoulder. So I remember that year, I think the 10th going into my 11th grade year, I had that, before the Mamba mentality, I had the Mamba mentality. And I was out there in all the parks, 4th Street, 3rd Street, Lorraine Park, and I was playing every day, all the time. And I got my game up, and I made the varsity team. And let you tell it, a lot of people pissed off. Like, how did Kush get there? But if you know me, and I believe you do, and I've always been a hustler. I've always been, that dude that I'll dive on the ground for a ball. I take the charge, by hook or crook, I was going to make that team. And we had a great year, and honestly, we should have won the chip. I still remember that game like it was yesterday. Us being in the county. Well, before we even get to that, I remember talk about rivalries with Rochelle. Oh my God! I remember that kid. I forgot his name, man, but the kid made like a half-court shot on us and won the game. You remember Nero beat us during the regular season?
Right.
The dude like threw the shot like with 1 second left or some shit like that and beat us.
Right.
But then we came back and beat their ass, and then we beat them at County Center, and we did great. And speaking of that was the year Lamont went to New Rochelle because he got into some beef with Ferrantino. And I remember because Mount Vernon had a hell of a backcourt with Lamont and my man
Lou Tucker.
Lou Tucker, Groovy Lou, and that was a 1-2 shot. Lou as the point guard, and Lamont is the shooting guard. And the first game against New Road, Lamont did light us up. He was chucking them for three.
He killed us. He killed us.
Yeah, he did. He lit us up. But then, like I said, those next two games, we took them, man. And then I remember playing, I'd never forget the County Center game, man. And, we lost to King Rice and them. And it's funny because King Rice went to North Carolina, my favorite school, man. And he didn't do shit. Yeah, man. And then, following that, the next year, I didn't make the team. And, that crushed me, I'm going to tell you, because there was no way I didn't think I was going to make the team. And I thought that I was doing very well when, doing the tryouts. And, I think, and this is just my perspective, Rodney Bagwell, God bless the dead, Rodney, he couldn't play on the team the year before. And I believe Ferentino and whoever, they already had it set that Rod was going to be on the team. And that was my spot. And, Rod was a hell of an athlete too. Played basketball and football. And I'll take nothing away. But I believe I honestly deserved to be on the team at that time. And, it's funny how life works because, that trajectory of me not making the team that year, it threw my whole life in a whole different direction. And the story. I right after high school, I went to the military, and I would have never done that if I played ball, if I was still playing that ball, because I believed at that time. And it's funny to think of yourself back there. I thought I was good, but I look at these cats today. I was all right, but I wasn't no superstar. And like I said, it's funny how things work because if I did make that team, I wouldn't have joined the military. And then again, my life took a whole different journey. I went out to Germany. I started to box. I started to do so well. I won all types of tournaments. I was on a team with Ray Mercer, who became the heavyweight champ back in the 90s. McKinney was on my team. I went to Colorado, Fort Carson, Colorado, back in '88, and I was part of the Olympic tryout squad, and came one fight from making the Olympic team back then. So, and then I'm still in the military to this day. So, it's funny, like I said, how one event or one action can change your whole life. And, if I would do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing. So, this trajectory has led me to be, a Division Sergeant Major, tons of accolades associated with that. And, I'm blessed beyond belief, King, of where I'm at in my life today, with my kids, with my family. And, I like I said, I wouldn't change a thing. I look at all of our peers and all the kids that came up with us, playing ball, man, and I love it. Like I told you the other day, man, I love seeing us, celebrate past accomplishments, staying young by living in, our glory days. And, the fact of the matter, man, is that, like I said, I love you, man, because I think you keep all of us tight knit. Everyone from Rochelle to the old guys like the damn what's my man James Thompson and all of them. So again, salute to you, Ed, for keeping us all together. Hey, Ed, well received, man, and I appreciate you, man. What's funny about this conversation as I reflect on our teenage days, if you think about it, brother, you had the talent and ability to be a professional basketball player, and when a lot of us, well, I won't say a lot, but there's a lot of Mount Vernon cats that could have been at that level. But it's the focus, right? It's the focus of staying in it. Nothing else matters but basketball at that time. You look at Kobe and his career, and when you hear him talk, he spent his whole life just playing basketball. Right. He didn't get caught up in the parties. He didn't get caught up in the weed. He didn't get caught up in all that other stuff. And those are the distractions that lead us from not fulfilling our true potential, And like I say, that left-hand jump shot, brother, it was sweet. It was sweet,
Thank you, King.
It's fun. Like I said, when I reflect on all of this, because Anton Hopkins, I think of Anton, and and he was a beast.
Yes.
Antoine was a beast.
Yeah.
We should have won. We should have won. We should have won the chip. It's like I said, it's good to reflect on old memories, man. And Mount Vernon has a talent pool of we breed champions, brother. We breed champions. Even I looked at them. They won the chip last year, and it's something about this city, man. It's a jewel for talent.
Now, before you go, let me ask you: when we had the shooting incident in Mount Vernon, how did that affect you? Yeah, at the game. How did that affect you?
Yeah. That was pretty serious back then, man.
Right.
So that's kind of how that affected me back then, man. I remember at the school too.
Right, at Mount Vernon High School. Yeah.
At the high school.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Sold out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And you know what? The other thing that kind of pissed me off now, that and it's just the sign of the times now, right? Because everything is digital, right? Everybody game gets taped and all that. We didn't have that back in our day, right? There's a few games that's still out there, but it's not like today. Like everything gets displayed, right?
Right.
So that's why a lot of it has to be talked about in memory and passed on to the generations, because it's not like today you can go on YouTube and find some game of Mount Vernon last year, the year before that, and see these cats play and know who they really are. But you know, we don't have that of Rodney and Scooter McCrae or Ray or Gus Williams or, you know, and you know, and those, there's some bad brothers, man.
Right.
If you looked at, they would sing. So, you know, I'm pissed off that we came in an era just before, you know, this whole.
Brother, and I salute you, King.
Yes, sir, man. We got to talk off camera about our after one of our JV games, and I'm not going to talk about it on camera, but me, you, Tyrone, and Frank Rollins went down to 42nd Street. And I'm just going to do that.
I know that.
You remember that, right?
I love you, brother. I love you, brother. Yes, sir.
Love you too,
We'll
bro.
talk about that. All right, my man. Yes, sir. Blessings. All right.
Yeah, my
Yes,
man.
sir.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes,
But
sir.
you know, he was there. There's always been a rivalry between Mount Vernon and Rochelle. They would always get us in football. We would always get them in basketball. But sometimes it would escalate beyond the court and beyond the field. You know, it was that, you know, you got guys from New Rochelle that didn't like guys from Mount Vernon, guys from Mount Vernon that like guys from New Rochelle. Some of us, you know, we had family that lived in New Rochelle. Some of them had family that lived in Mount Vernon. And for whatever reason, there was always a problem. A lot of people don't remember there was a place called The Rink that was in New Rochelle on Main Street. And that was the only one that was around for us to go to. So you had to be bold and courageous, get on that 42 bus, go out to New Rochelle, and hang out at The Rink. If you knew somebody, you know, you got a pass. But if you didn't, you had to run down to that train station, catch that 42 bus back to Mount Vernon. I hope that train was there. Get on that train, get back to Mount Vernon. But when it came to the sports, you know, most of us, you know, we try to stay out of that. You know, we were hood dudes, not trying to do hood things, you know. Mount Vernon has always been legendary for basketball, going all the way back to Bill Pledge, Rudy Hackett, you know, Clyde Vaughn, you know, Earl Tatum, Gus Williams, Ray Williams, Rodney McCrae, Scooter McCrae, up to now, you know, Andre Drummond, Ben Gordon. You know, when you and I played, we was just following in the footsteps of them guys, you know. And even to this day, Mount Vernon has one of the top 25 programs in the country. You know, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that we were playing schools from other states, other cities, and tearing them up the same way we taught people in Westchester County. You know, people, the last national championship, well, no, I don't want to say the last, but a few years ago, we had played Lincoln in the national championship. And Tefler was the point guard. And we beat them by 30. And he was so mad that during an interview, he declared to the NBA draft. I think that was the last year they allowed high school players to come to the NBA. And he was so mad that his team had lost by that much. He just, out of nowhere, nobody knew it was coming. Just out of nowhere said, I'm declaring for the NBA. You know, and I was like, okay, well, you know, we've been known to be beating quote-unquote potential NBA prospects because we had a few of our own. You know, up until recently, we were second in the country for most basketball players coming from one high school. You know, you had Dunbar, you had Boys and Girls. Those are the only two schools ahead of us. And Mount Vernon is only 4 square miles. But a lot of people, you know, went to Mount Vernon's program because Mount Vernon's program was elite, well coached. They trained you. They prepared you for the next level. You know, I had some great times with you all the way back to OLV, to Our Lady of Victory. And that was like the foundation stepping stone when that 7th, 8th grade, go to OLV. Then you go to Mount Vernon, do that freshman JV, that varsity. And people knew of you and was looking forward to you coming. And you had to show and prove. Like, you know, I deserve to put this jersey on. I deserve to be on this court. You know, making the team was an accomplishment. Being able to start was like, yeah, man, now there's things that's expected of you. You know, you got to follow suit. And up until a point, you and I, we did that. You know, we did that. And not just with New Rochelle, but even Yonkers. You know, Yonkers was a hell of a rivalry. But they had like 5 high schools. You know, because they were so big. But New Rochelle, man, they were, even to this day, rivalries. I don't know how good their program this year is, or Mount Vernon for that matter. But I do know that Mount Vernon always makes sure to put out a good product for the fans to come see. And it's a beautiful thing to know that before us, since us, and after us, they're still doing what they're doing when it comes to this basketball thing. Well, it's funny because I'm originally from Harlem. I'm from 115th and Madison, Taft Project. I moved to Mount Vernon when I was 12. And my father was up here, and, Harlem was like crazy. Things was going on. So he kind of convinced my mother to move to Mount Vernon, where it was a little more peaceful. What I found out later was half of Mount Vernon was from Harlem. Most people that was in Mount Vernon wasn't from Mount Vernon, they was from Harlem. Well, I always tell people I claim Mount Vernon because Mount Vernon is where I made my bones. Mount Vernon is where, I found me with sports, with music. But I would always go back to Harlem because I had family down there. So, yeah, when I was going down, I would see Cold Crush, I see Treacherous 3, I would see all of them, and they was wearing, like you said, the braids with the bees, the leather blazers, the wallabies, the playboys, the hush puppies. So my swag was always Harlem and dress, but my attitude was like, I got to bring this back to Mount Vernon. So whenever I go down there, I go to Harlem World, I hit tapes with Cold Crush, Busy B, Spoonie G. I said, hold on, man, I got to bring this back, let people know what's going on. So I would always go down there and get my tapes, come back. We played during practice with them. I said, yeah, this is what they doing, this is what they doing. Then we start going to Skate Key in the Bronx, Arlington Avenue. And then everybody, because it wasn't that far, catch the 2 train, 241st, go down to Arlington Avenue, get off the train, Skate Key was right there. So everybody was coming. We got a chance to see these same people, the Run DMCs, the Cold Crush Brothers, the Treacherous 3, the Spoonie Gs, and we started seeing all about running, adapted to, what Harlem was doing. It's the what do you call it? The ski suits, ski pants, ski jackets, the leather bombers, the goggles, Porterfields, and it was just an amazing time because, there was street stuff was going on, but there wasn't really a lot of gangs and a lot of killing, and we didn't have to worry about your son not coming home. You go to a party, have a good time. The worst you had to worry about is maybe a fight. You was meeting girls from all over, taking numbers. And back then, was no cell phone, so you had to remember numbers. You had to remember numbers. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's crazy because your memory was sharp. Girl, you had to get 5 numbers. You remember each one. Now on the cell phone, you don't even remember your number. That's the crazy part. But that early '80s was a testament and a growing time for all of us, man. And I wouldn't change it for the world, man. I had some of my best times from OLV to Mount Vernon High School, just being able to grow, like meet brothers like you, interact. I always tell people, sports and military are things that bypass race, and nonsense. You develop a brotherhood through sports and the military because it's a team effort and you have to rely on the other guy. So all that other stuff, that racism and all that nonsense goes out the window. You got to depend on somebody, and somebody got to depend on you. And I'm grateful for that, for the times we had, because it's funny. We never lost at OLV, and it's just funny because the team before us never lost, and the team after us never lost. So there was a tradition. Same thing with Mount Vernon High School. All the national championships we got. It's expected for you to do well. Now, our football team was never that good. That's one thing. But our basketball team, there was a history that had to keep being repeated because of the stage that was set. And I don't know if you did, but I didn't see pressure. I took it as, I'm just as good. I got to show I'm just as good too. I didn't look at it as pressure. I look like, you want them to win too. Growing up, we had idols, and mine was Magic Johnson and Michael Ray Richardson. And they both played this thing. Michael Ray was playing for the Knicks. He was a big guard, 6'5", and then you have Magic that was 6'9", playing for the Lakers. And their leadership at the point guard position, it wasn't just their ability to play, but their ability to know all their teammates' strengths, getting them the ball successful. Paying attention. You know, like you being left-handed, you know, on the left-hand block on the elbow, I know when you fall, dude is dead. You got him in the post. He's defending you like you're right-handed, not realizing that you're left-handed. See, and I had to recognize that in order to make it be successful. You see what I'm saying? Because if you even think about it, when coach was coaching us, he was all right. Give him his left. Don't let him go right. Not realizing you might be playing somebody who's left-handed. So these guys defending you like you right-handed, not realizing they're giving you your strength. And then my job was to recognize what they was doing in order to give you the ball where you could be effective to do what you do. You understand what I'm saying? And that's all that's about. And, you know, because I used to look at the whole dynamic. It wasn't just the ability to play ball, but the vocalism. Because, you know, you got to talk in basketball. No, get over there. You got him. In the post, on the block. Come to the elbow. If you ain't communicating, you really can't be successful. You know, you can't name a team that's been successful who have won anything who didn't communicate. It's impossible. You know, hard. And, you know, playing the ball. Like, because, I mean, I understood being a facilitator was like being a quarterback. You know, and I could shoot. So the double come down to, hey, you get double team, you kick it back out. That's like a layup to me. My jump shot was a layup. You know, because I made the game easy. The game was never difficult unless you made it difficult. But if you studied it and watched Magic, Magic was flashy. But every time he did it, the ball was where it was supposed to be, going to who it was supposed to go to. See, people was caught up on versus, I see James Worthy come over here, I see Coop over there. You know, they don't realize what he had to do to get to the point to do this. He didn't just do this. He had to realize who was on the court, where the defenders were, and was James Worthy or Michael Cooper in a position to be effective once they got the ball. Same thing. You come down, I'm looking at you, I'm like, okay, I got to make sure Ed's on the right side. Not that you weren't effective on the right side, but that wasn't your strength. So I got to give you the ball where you have to be most effective. And that was always my mindset. Where was everybody at? Was everybody where they were supposed to be? And if they weren't, telling them to go to where they were supposed to be. That's how I played the game, man. You know, I think about it now because I still can shoot. I tell people, I'm 55 now, but I still can shoot. I just can't run no more. I can't jump no more. I still can shoot. That ain't gonna change. You know, and it's funny because I see the young guys now, and it's amazing how generationally, whatever is hot is how guys, mimic their game. And now it's about Del Curry. Everybody wants to shoot threes. Where Steph got
Right.
the shooting ability from his father.
Right.
But now he just took it to another level because his skill set definitely better than his father. And I'm pretty sure Dale wouldn't argue that.
Mm-hmm.
But now that's the game. Shooting threes. And I'm saying that's great. But there's still other components. You still got to defend. You still got to pass. You still got to rebound. Shooting's just like, I remember when Iverson came out, everybody wanted to crossover, but nobody could make a layup. Crossover. Nobody could make a jump shot. I'm like, you have to incorporate all these things. Magic was a terrible free throw shooter when he came in the league. When he retired, he was 91%. See, the things he couldn't do, he worked on to get better at. That's what makes a good ball player. You good. Everybody's good, but what are you going to do to be better? Everybody's good. You got to be better. But I still love the game. It's funny you had let me know that you wanted to do this interview because I'm saying to myself, I was thinking about everybody. I told you, Brian, I sent me the pictures I sent you. I said, dang, man, that was the best part of my life, man. Just having no worries in the world, no responsibility. We just living life, going through life. And it's funny. I remember that first JV year. You said you was talking about George, and I remember when George thought he was going to start over me. I never forget we was in the cafeteria, and when George had bought I had the Yankee starter jacket. Remember they had the different teams. I had the white blue Yankee starter jacket, and George had a Portland Trailblazer. He had a black one. I remember he came in, and when they had posted start 5, and he was like a blank stare because he really thought like he was gonna start over me. I'm like, no. I said, you're a little more athletic, man. I said, but you ain't better than me. And he didn't understand. I said, no, man, this conversation is kind of deep, man. You may think it's easy. It's kind of deep, man.
Right.
You know? And I had saw him the other day, because I see him every now and then. And I was like, yeah, man, got big as you got tall. He like, you got tall.
Right.
Because back then, we going 5'10". You know, I stopped at 5'11". I ain't
Yes.
Yeah, but you was 6'1".
Right.
You was 6'1".
Right.
You know, and I was like, damn, you got big. You
Right.
know? And remember, even Paul. Remember Paul?
Paul Bratcher.
Yeah, Paul.
Yeah.
You know, he got big.
Right.
He got big.
Right.
You know? And I saw Troy Hyman the other day. And me and Troy stayed the same, that 5'10", 5'11".
Right. Wow, this is beautiful, like, King. This is beautiful, my brother. Yeah.
Yeah. We was talking about it like, yo, man, that was like the best time of life, because all we had to do was play ball.
Right.
That's all we wanted to do. Play ball, live life. You know, and looking back on it, man, like, I wouldn't trade that for the world. You know,
exactly.
I had good times, man. We had fun. You know, won a bunch of trophies, a bunch of championships. You know what it is? But I always claim Mount Vernon because that's really where I grew up. It's just like when you first came from California back to Mount Vernon, and then left Mount Vernon and went back to California.
Right.
Like, you came and you was electric boogieing when dudes was pop lock. You was doing something different. You was doing Jeffrey Daniels when dudes was saying Crazy Legs.
Right.
So you brought something different. You brought something different from California. You thought I forgot that.
Yes. Right.
So when you came, it was like, what's that? Because you was doing some old, looked like you was kung fu fighting.
Right.
And everybody else was just, b-boy. You brought the other element.
Right. Right.
You know, like, because I said, I seen Jeffrey Daniels do that on Soul Train. But that's California. So the style was different, but I remember.
Right.
I remember.
Right.
You know, so, like I said, I mean, I grew up in Mount Vernon. Even though I went back to Harlem, I work in Harlem now. I always claim Mount Vernon because that's what it was.
Right.
You know, before 12, you ain't really have no identity. You still trying to find yourself. So from 12 on, it was Mount Vernon.
Right.
You know, I tell people, Mount Vernon. People say, where were you born? I say, yeah, I was born in Harlem, but I grew up in Mount Vernon. Well, definitely to the youth, I want to say, find who you are without being so quick to emulate something that might be negative. And to the Mount Vernon, Rochelle thing, we all the same. We ain't got to say, well, I'm from Rochelle, you from Mount Vernon. Let's put that nonsense aside. Let's be people. Let's compete competitively, see who's better, without trying to fight and kill each other. Because if somebody's dead, you'll never know how good he could have been. But as long as you know we try to keep it civil and just be competitive, man, we can go a long way. So let's stop the Mount Vernon killing too. You know what I mean? But,
yes.
I think this is a good thing you did, Ed. Thank you for inviting me and asking me to speak my truth about some of our great moments growing up, man. It gave me a chance to reminisce and think about some things. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Hey, we love you, my brother. Best of pleasance to you and the family. This is the late but still great Danny McQueen. We love you. Nice for life, my brother. Always.
My brother.
Salute. Yes, sir. All right.
Okay, my brother.
So, Mount Vernon Nights. First I want to shout out Mount Vernon, 4 square miles, money earning. Remember, no Murderville, no Ville, none of that. Money earning Mount Vernon, or the Vernon, or Master Victor. But yes, give thanks to this beautiful 4 square miles, the football field. I want to bring that up first. The basketball nights. Like I said, everybody will know Cuzzo, Ed Wiley. This is my input. Shout out to Graviano. They give thanks for the JV nights, you know what I mean? Like I said, my cousin Ed Wiley and Antoine Hopkins, give thanks for it. This is my input. I love all my teammates. Yes. Every single one of them. Rest in peace to Rodney Bagwell, no doubt. Yes. I also was in a team. You had Troy, you had Paul, you had Tree Rock, we had some dudes. We had Wayne Hemphill, we had some dudes, but if it wasn't for this interviewer, who is Eddie Wiley and Antoine, trust me, my friends. Yes, but that's deep because these brothers, like y'all know ball, like y'all know Antoine had that spice, and Ed had that spice. What you want, left or right? My cousin was a lefty, so like no matter what y'all thought y'all can do a left hand play, it wasn't working. He was dropping buckets on y'all, but yeah, we don't let it yet. I'm gonna keep it real. I thought I had some good games, right? I did some things. I had some flavor, but I had mental issues in the classroom, so my evaluation sheet stopped me from making the varsity because, like I said, we had a good team on JV. The next step is varsity, and that's your goal, to make varsity, to go to college. Like, and everybody know we was in 4th Street. We grew up with all the greats, like the Scooter McCrae, the Gus's, and Smiley and his brother, Lowe's Moores. The list goes on and on. You got Ray Williams and Scooter. Then you got his other brothers who didn't make it. That was nasty with it. But like I said, you had a lot of brothers from 4th Street. It was incredible. But the night like we left JV. The next step was varsity. My big, oh man, I ain't gonna front cry. Like, the worst thing ever happened to me when you trying out for varsity. Remember I tell y'all this. When you was trying out for varsity, they had one spot left. They had, real talk, ask my cousin, ask anybody. The varsity team was set. They had like room for one more player. They had 3 players they had in mind. I remember this very distinctively. It was me, myself. It was Corey Kush, and there was another brother. He was a senior. Yes, him and his brothers lived at Emily Gardens, but he was a senior at the time. So I already knew the dynamics. Valentino was like, yeah, we can use that sophomores coming into a junior, not really the senior. So it was 3 players. Corey Kush, if you out there, if you listening, bro, I love you, bro. You deserve that spot, real talk. But I say you deserve it because it wasn't all about just basketball. You was a better individual than I. Yeah, I can admit that. I'm not afraid to say somebody's fancy me, can jump out or can beat me. But yeah, Corey Kush was the better player. We check it out. We both was 2 ball players, 1 opening spot. The coach, Ferrantino, I know they had to evaluate. I'm not saying I'm better than him. I'm not saying he's better than me. I know I had something to offer. I know he had something to offer also. Like, what I had to offer wasn't enough. Like, and I respect that because as the years went on, and I was listening to my cousin, and like I seen him out there with the greats, like all the celebrities, linking up with old basketball great legend goats, the coaches. He stayed in contact with Ferrantino. So I kind of knew, like, that's deep. Like, Ferrantino was a good coach. Like, I was mad at him again. Yeah, I used to burn fire on Ferrantino. But yo, Ferrantino, I love you. Bro, you was a great coach, bro. I was mad at the time for a reason. Like, I said, why me? Why you didn't pick me? Like, but I know why you didn't pick me. And Ferrantino and Kush, if you listening, word out. I salute y'all, real talk. Because you was a good coach, and Kush was a good player. Your evaluation sheet was excellent. That's the key. Your evaluation sheet. It's not all about basketball, putting a round ball through a circle. It's about your performance as well in the classroom. Yes, and your performance was great, bro. Jimmy McGee's, oh man, John, Ho Ben Sadie, yo, the list go,
Byron
Kershaw,
yeah,
Spider. It was many.
Richie Page, yeah.
Yeah, Richie Page, yo, bro. Like, and give thanks to the New Rochelle Foundation because New Rochelle made us who we are too. If you think about it. Give thanks for now, Rule, New Rochelle. You know what I mean? We grew up in New Rochelle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Paul Ples, his father, Ples. Yeah, the school is the Rottens. I want to shout you out, cousin, but you're doing a tremendous job. Beautiful job at keeping people alive on this venue, Facebook, or the Instagram, or the WhatsApp. Like you keep people motivated. Everybody who comes to Cali, if you don't see Ed Wiley, yo, that's what my man say. He rhymed. Cali, and you don't see Ed Wiley.
You wore the low socks. You wore the 3/4. Everybody else was wearing the high tops. You wore the 3/4. You wore the part in the middle of your head with the fade. I remember nobody was rocking that. And I said, yo, my man looking like Louisville. He looking like Rodney Scooter, Milt Wagner. He got the fade with the par. And we watching college games and watching how these cats is changing their flavor. But the 3/4, the low socks, when you bought a lot of fashion. I just want to let you know, fam, for me.
Yes, this thing, Scooter and Rodney, yes, because like my cousin said, I seen dudes before me. Shout out to the GQ crew. Like, yeah, I got bits and pieces. Rest in peace, Woo. Like, Butter, like, I got bits and pieces from the guards, rest in peace. You already know the great guards, man. Rest in peace, he just was on Facebook, but God Jamal.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, God. Yo, trying to do everything I saw y'all do on the floor. Y'all was incredible. Y'all was dunking. You was dunking with your left. Layup. Like, yeah, but you said the right thing. Give thanks to Scooter and Rodney. Give thanks to the brothers in North Shell. The fades, the taping on the side, split in the middle, yes. The socks, yes, Rodney and Scooter. The brothers from North Shell.
We love you, man, and we appreciate your time. Salute, Gio. My man. Blessings. Yes.
Busy like that, man. Really busy like that.
Got my man New Row, my man D-Row. Got my man Smiley. This is legendary. Yeah, we're in Vegas right now. I'm going to put this little clip in the movie, man. Yeah. I love it right here. Yeah, I love it. You know what I mean? We just chilling. Legends right here. This for the document. Mount Vernon, the Rivalry, Rochelle. I got Smiley. I got my man D-Rose. Man, Mount Vernon, Rochelle, man.
That was probably one of the best things ever for me growing up. I saw it as a player and a spectator. My brother played, Mount Vernon, New Road, running out of the damn high school. Mount Vernon boys, we fighting and everything in New Rochelle High School. I was like, yo, this is how we play basketball. But it was good, man. It was a lot of fun. Made some great friends, as you can see. But it just developed a whole lot of relationship between New Rochelle and Mount Vernon. It just kept that rival going on a nonstop basis.
And this is D-Rose speaking, y'all.
It was something that we look for. It's like, all right, when the Mount Vernon New Road play? That's the game you want to go see. That's the game you come home to go see. And that's the game you want to play in. Now, for myself, my class, we beat Mount Vernon once at Mount Vernon, and that's probably the best thing because we have never beaten Mount Vernon at Mount Vernon. I remember the first time they beat us at our spot, that was a game that we felt that we should have won, but we didn't come ready to play. But we went to Mount Vernon, we was ready to play that night, and we beat them in Mount Vernon. I think it was probably one of the first New Rochelle teams to beat Mount Vernon in Mount Vernon. And that was big, that was deep right there, and that rivalry just kept going and kept going. So yeah, that's a plush rivalry, man. That's a lot of love out there, man, and just a lot of respect also at the same time.
And if you can, off the top of your head a little bit, could you name a couple of the ball players you played with that year in New Rochelle, if you don't mind?
At New Rochelle, I got John Ebanks, I got Todd Foy, I got Knute Hanchard, I got Freddie Eisman, I got Jimmy O'Donnell, I got Calvin Nelson, I got, who else?
Super dope.
Big Ben Jefferson. Yeah,
Big Ben, yes.
Big Ben Jefferson. I had a couple of cats out there, and we played against my man, God bless him, my man Lou Hill, James Thompson, Ernest Monroe, from the other cats, Terrence. What's Terrence's last name?
You talking about Terrence Crawford?
Yeah, Terrence Crawford. So we had some good rivals out there. Tony Frantino was the head coach in Mount Vernon. Lenny Mecca at New Rochelle, he was the head coach. So we had some big things out there, man. We had a lot of fun, man. Like I said, there was a lot of fun, a lot of respect. At the same time, we played. It was like, listen, after the game, we'll be friends. But right now, there's no friendship.
I love it.
No
hey, yo,
friendship.
just for all the people out there, man, let them know what year you played and what position you played, King.
Oh, man, I came out in '83, and I played. At that time, I was playing 4 and 5. But naturally, after that, when I gravitated towards college, I played 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
And what school did you go to in college, my brother?
St. Peter's College in Jersey City, New Jersey.
This is my man D-Row, yo, live New Rochelle, legend on the Huguenots, baby.
914, baby.
914. Yo, we got Smiley Curtis right here, more, man.
Come on, legendary player too. What you feel about the rivalry between Rochelle and Mount Vernon right quick, my brother?
Well, as I was growing up, my brother Lowe's played, so, I used to watch the game. So I said, I figure when I grow up, I said that I can't wait to be in that kind of position they in playing against New Rochelle, because that was the rivalry back then, as I was growing up. So when I got my time, never lost to New Rochelle. Never.
Okay. It's all love, y'all. It's all love. That's why we love each other. It's a rivalry. It's all love.
We played against Clyde Vaughn and all them guys. They had a very good team back then too, but
Clyde Vaughn is another legend in New Row.
Yes, sir. We was a smaller team, but they just couldn't handle us. Me, Stephon, Donald Russell, Ricky Burton, Fred Benjamin, Carlton Samuels. We had a crew.
Wow.
And we was young and we was talented. We all hung out. So, Independence Community College for 2 years. Then I left there and went to the University of Nebraska. Then I got drafted by Portland Trailblazers, and I played the 3 position.
Okay. And what position did you play in high school, my brother?
They had me playing the 3.
And what year did you go?
81.
All right. That's, Callis, man, legend.
I was playing. He was post up player. Post up player. Because he could jump out the gym.
Yes, yes.
That was
the
amazing.
jumper, right.
You put a body on him before he catch one off the rim on you.
Right, right.
Listen, that rivalry was tough, man. Yeah. Like you said, they did have a lot of talent on that team, man. They had great talent. And just like you said, the rivalry was there, but the friendships that you developed throughout that time, it lasts forever, man. As you can see, we are still here today talking about it. You're here also, Ed, and we're talking about it at the same time.
Yes, sir.
Love is love, as they say.
No doubt. I appreciate you.
Together and played in Greenberg together.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
they needed me to come over to help them out to win some championship in Greenberg, because that's when I got back into my thing, and they was like, "Yo, we need you to come play with us."
Yeah, but he had to feel, he had to feel the wins, the championship. He got used to it, so he came aboard.
Right. I love it, man. This is what it's all about, the rivalry, man. After all the hard work, man, and all the battles, man, we can come back and share some love, y'all. That's what it's called, rivalry. All right, man. D-Row, Smiley, y'all. We out.
What up, everybody? Wow. Rivalry, Mount Vernon New Road. That was the first time in my senior year I played in front of 1,000 people. It was me, Clyde Vaughn, Dolly Stroud, Jerome Ruff, Dal Perez, Baby D, we would call him. And that was the first time I ever seen that, to play in that gym of 1,000 people plus, and no standing room only. Even Graham Cooper was on JV at the time too.
Wow.
And he was on JV. He was the starting point guard for JV. And I was a little intimidated. I had a girlfriend for about at the time. Matter of fact, I was dating the city controller at the time, Deborah Reynolds. And the thing that struck me that was really amazing was the inbound play at the half court. Farentino was the coach, and they had an inbound play. It was a stack at half court, and Smiley got the pick at half court and ran to the basket. The ball went up from out of bounds, and boom, King was over nearby there. But Clyde Vaughn gave it to Ricky Burton. Ricky Burton was like the best defensive player in the county. Clyde gave him like 34 points. Easy. But it was a good rivalry. I mean, the fight afterwards, I almost walked into a knife, but I ran up the locker room up the steps. Because I was scared, because I went out the front. And then, I had to run back into the gym, go back out, and Graham Poole was on the bus, and he was saying, like, yo, they want this one, they want that one, they want this one. And it was an experience. It was an experience. I remember going to 4th Avenue and going to Soul Train, and my mom used to buy material from that material store right across the street on the corner there. And I told Mom, Mom, that's Scooter McCray. So she started talking to her. And I said, Mom, you can't talk to you on backs, and you ask too many questions. Leave him alone. But it was, I forged friendships with Stephon, all of them. They were the main reason why I started coming out. Because my mother wasn't letting me come out. Because the fights were happening too. It was crazy between City Park, Mount Vernon, Billy Bob's and all them, Craig Rivers and all of them. It was just crazy. It was crazy. But
being that I was hanging with Stephon and Smiley and them, they didn't bother me because I was with the basketball team. And the Heights parties, pretty girl parties was crazy, yo. I'm telling you, but I had a good time, and that was my experience. And I ain't left Mount Vernon yet, but I'm about to. But that's my experience of it. It was, I forged a lot of friendships, and I still have them today. Yes, I had my little 8 points and my little 10 points. The history of that is just so crazy, and I'm proud to say I'm glad that I was a part of that. I can always say I was a part of that. I wasn't gonna go out for the basketball team. I just really did it for hobby, that and football. And one day when I was in City Park, was telling me, like, two friends, Calvin Woodfield and Jeffrey Hayes, I never forget it. They threatened me. They said, if you don't go out, we're going to beat you up. That's something like, I got to go out. I better go out. They pumped up to their word. I'm out. And I told Mecca, he was an English teacher, his first year being a coach in the room. He had told me, he said, well, Gerald, you're not going to make the team. It's senior. I said, okay, but I had them two dudes in my back of my ear telling me, like, if you don't go out, we're going to beat you up. So that was my motivation. So I end up making the team and end up starting. I never forget, I end up starting. And I wouldn't have did it unless I got pushed. The motivation was them beating me up. I didn't want it.
Right.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Banks is behind me. He's like a year or two behind me.
Okay.
He was point guard. Ben Jefferson, yeah, that's my boy. Benji, yeah. Oh, yeah. Big 6'9". That's my boy. We went to church together, Shiloh. Yeah, we were junior deacons in Shiloh. Yeah. He's trying to get me to come out there to visit. Told me if I come out there, don't worry about it. Give me all the stops. Him and Billy Woodfield live out there.
Whenever you come, you let me know. I'm going to be there.
Yo, you know what I remember one day? We was in 4th Street Playground. I was playing on the other side of the court. And y'all seen me. I was playing fairly good. He was like, yo, come over here, though, with the competition. Come over here. And I was like, nah, I don't go over there. But just the love and everything that you always showed me love out there. Because dunking was my forte. Because the Mount Vernon girls at that time, back in the 80s and 70s, were one of the most beautiful women in the world. I mean, you could go up and down the East Coast and all you would hear, girls are Mount Vernon, girls are Mount Vernon. Beautiful women at that time. Before crack kicked in, that town was the best town to be in. Everybody flocked to that. Summer League, when Millbanks came out there with the chicks and bunnies, with the Heineken bottle, Rich Sadler and all of them would come out there and play and everything. It was crazy. They need to hurry up and bring that back because Mount Vernon basketball and Summer League was on the level of Rucker Park. To me, it was equal. It was equal. And the draw, everybody would come out there. You played in 4th Street, it's like playing in Rucker.
I gotta agree.
I don't understand why right now it's like that in Melbourne. It's sad that they don't invest into the kids like they do. They just, like, the politics. It's too much politics. People on the take. And it's sad we're doing it to each other out there. It's just terrible right now. And it's hard for these kids to embrace anything because there's nothing there. There's nothing there. They like just suck Mount Vernon. Oh, it's just terrible. It's just terrible.
That's
the golden days, the 80s, those were golden era. You couldn't keep me out. For a town to be so small, 4 square miles, and have so much talent in every genre, basketball, football, entertainment, politics. It's a shame that they done sucked that town away like that. You know, these kids have nothing to reach out for. Nothing. And it's really sad. No leadership, no nothing. You got a whole bunch of churches, and a lot of these churches are not reaching out to these kids and helping these kids in the community, giving back. There's a few churches, like one church, New Life, really gives back. They give back to the community every Wednesday, pour into the community, you know, and the atmosphere is just great. But New Life can't do it by itself. You need all those other 400 some odd churches to come together and put their egos aside and do for the community. Put your ego aside. You got to bring it all back.
Right.
It don't make no sense that Mount Vernon 4th Street looking the way it is, and you ain't got no tournament. It's ridiculous.
Come on.
I don't understand that.
Come on.
I don't understand that. I don't
feel
understand
you.
that at all. And I blame the people from the top to the bottom. Everybody's on the tape. That's the problem. Everybody's in the pockets. I don't get that. Yeah. It's like I said, it's sad because people are not paying attention to the youth. And that's why you have all these shooting, the behaviors out of control, and, parents, I don't know. I'm saying all, but a lot of these parents are not doing their self due diligence as far as raising their kids. Some of them are worse than the kids themselves. I experienced that firsthand too. But the rivalry, I'm so glad I was a part of that. You know, I got a lot of great memories. You see my action photo I sent you of me and Stephon, Smiley, Ricky Bird, and I forget some of them, the rest of them. That team was talented. Leave me alone. I always say this. Red was the best pure point guard.
Who? Who was that?
Ever to defeat that. Cornbread.
Oh, yeah.
Cornbread, the best pure point guard that ever came out of Mount Vernon that I saw. I never saw him turn the ball over. He could score, did it all. And he was always under control. Always. Always. And it's just sad that, things, that the brother went through. I'm not trying to put things out there, but he deserved a whole lot more, accolades and stuff like that. Great personality. Me and me had our little run in, but, it's more of a friendship. It was just, they always showed love coming from New York. Always. Always. And I showed it to them when they came out there, especially Stephon, because, Stephon, was always out in New York too. And the fights. Oh my God, the fights were crazy. I witnessed. My mother wouldn't let me go to the club parties, but this one particular one I went to, and Billy Bubbs and Jerome Ruff. And Jerome Ruff is one of our point guards on that team with me and Clive Long. They got to fighting up there by Deluxe. And they both got arrested. I'd never forget that. My mother didn't let me go. It was crazy, though. But we lost a few people behind those things. I'm not going to talk about that. But it was just, it was an experience. But it was a good experience for the most part. I'm glad to be a part of that rivalry. Number 25, Swingman, Jump to the Moon. T. Drake. It's a shame when I drive through there and I see it and I don't see the crowd, the entertainment, people, the love. There was no incidents happening out there. It was just beautiful. And they need to bring that back. They really need to bring that back. I mean, New Road has a great tournament. That's fine. But it's a football town. Mount Vernon is a basketball town. In the 80s, Mount Vernon was the only town that had 5 people in the NBA at one time. Nowhere in America can claim that, not even Brooklyn. 5 people in the NBA. 4 square miles to have all that talent. Rich in talent. Not only in basketball, but entertainment, you have our store. There's others. And movies and stuff like that. Arcani, all them. Black and white. Just not about just 4 square miles. Just imagine 4 square miles with 400 churches and all that talent. Why we can't get it right as a people? Why we can't get that right? Not only just Shad. That boy can play football too. Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And and peace and love and homage to Big Bob Kershaw. They don't speak about Big Bob Kershaw, Byron's oldest brother, Bob Kershaw, hell of a basketball player. Remember the fashion? Remember the mock-necks, Lee pants, British walkers, Kango hats? When school started, it was a fashion show. Everybody worked hard, and you went and got your Adidas, you got your Pumas, you got your Nikes. These kids today, they got a hoodie and a some tight jeans and a pair, whatever, and they think they did. It ain't did. We dressed. Talking about a drip. And how you gonna play basketball and don't get your schoolwork? Or any sport. How you gonna do that? You have to do them both. Because they ain't gonna let you play without that. It was, oh my God, 1,000 people? I was shook. I took the ball out and the crowd was around me. I never forget, like, damn. It was crazy, but the fights too. Like I said, they was fighting in the stands. Oh man, they was fighting people, mothers in the stands and stuff. It was crazy. We was in a layup line, and no lie, we was in a layup line, and I think it was Billy Bobs, Tony France, and them. They started swinging at us. They were swinging at us. Nobody gonna do nothing. I said, I ain't going to layup line. I stood at the half court, the basketball bouncing it. I said, I'm not doing that. I said, yo, it was crazy, man. It was crazy, but a lot of those cats today, I'm great friends.
And God blessings, my brother. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Man, it was too electrifying. To the point to where, like, I never, you know what I mean? And not to say that we did something special before, you know what I mean? It just built up to that time, you know? And, bro, we had people outside the joint, like 3,000, 4,000 deep trying to get in. You know what I mean? And then our principal actually told us, yo, we're going to raise the price. And when Lamar, and then when we was in 11th grade, he said, we're going to raise the price. The principal, he's like, nah, he playing, man, he playing. And when the game actually came, we was in 11th grade, yo, it was actually like 4,000 people outside the school, and the prices went up. We looked at the tickets, it was $15, $11 tickets. We supposed to be $3 tickets. When we seen $15 tickets and $11 tickets, we was like, you can't be serious, yo. So, you know, at that time, Ed, it was so crazy, bro, just to even be on the team. You know what I mean? Because, you know, when we was younger, Byron was the one that used to come get us all to come play. Right. Like in the hood, like, you know, Byron would come to everybody's door like 7 o'clock in the morning, banging on your door, boom, yo, let's go. And then just leave, you know what I'm saying? And then like, you like, yo, what's going on? What's going on? Yo, so by the time you get up and you look outside, there's nobody on the court, but then everybody's coming from the buildings. It's like 20 deep. Now we all go to the building because Byron, everybody's door to come play. So that's what he was great at, you know, because Byron used to love basketball so much that he would knock on our doors. And he would knock on mine first because, you know, I get up last. You know what I mean? And then, story short, we all get up into the court and we just start balling all day. All day. You know what I mean? Like, all day. But then, you know, as time goes on, I was in football and I was into basketball. And then Hunt was playing football. And then Hunt started playing basketball more than football. Hunt quit football and then started playing basketball. So then, make a long story short with that, as we started growing, we just started playing. Me, Hunt, and B, and James, as you know, James. Troy Chambers got cut. I wish he would have played with us in 11. It would have been a different game. Like that was me, Byron, Hunt, James, and Troy in the hollow. That was our thing. Up and down the court.
Okay.
We played Jimmy. We used to beat the first team to the point Boston got mad and sat us down for like 2 weeks, and they got in better shape than us in 2 weeks. And we started playing them. But to make a long story short, we used to rock them, son. To the point Boston used to get mad because Lamarche couldn't deal with Troy, you know, and B was just all around, and then Hunt and James with the rebounding because we played together, you know what I mean? So we knew each other more than they knew each other, you know what I mean? But we made each other better overall. And I give Lamar and Carl, they bought that Curry. I seen that 3-point thing a long time ago. You know what I mean? You did too. You already know. Right. These kids don't realize we've seen this already. You know, they don't understand, like, you know, y'all great and y'all have great talent, but brother, you ain't doing nothing I ain't seen. Right. You ain't seen. I seen it all. You know what I mean? I seen the dunks from the long tree, all of that, bro. I mean, all the guys that's good and all that, they great. I love it. But I seen it. Right. You know what I mean? Because our dedication was so high. And I was even, to make a long story short, Ed, I wasn't even really no good in basketball until I got to like 9th grade. I used to go on the court. Byron used to play when he was 8 years old with grown men. Byron was playing with grown men at 8 years old. Point guard, no joke. In the Vernon and all that. 8 years old, man. I'm no exaggeration. So, and that's how I was in football. You know, I was good at football like that. You know what I mean? So, make a long story short, Byron already had his game down. I was into football. But when I got to like 9th grade, I got cut from the me and Byron got cut because our stuff. So Hunt got back on the team. And no people don't know, Hunt became on varsity in 10th grade. Hunt played on varsity in 10th grade. Yeah, go look at the Newberg tapes and all of that. Hunt was on varsity, man. Yeah, Hunt was on varsity. So we were expecting when we came to varsity, Hunt's going to be the captain. Varsity flipped it and made Byron the captain, you know what I mean? Okay. So that right there alone, so coming up with that, and Hunt went to varsity, so when when I got there to the varsity, Boston didn't even know me. Boston didn't even know who I was. He's like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? So Harris told him who I was. But that whole summer, fam, you could ask B-Cap practice so hard that my game became, in 1 year, just 1 year, everybody from football to basketball, because I was still on the court, but I was shooting damn near 800 shots a day, dribbling up and down. And then back to the point I started doing it so much, Byron would come on the court and see me, and if I missed, he would dunk the ball. So I would not try to miss. I would shoot so many, I would make so many that he didn't have to dunk that much. And then Hunt would come, and then we would run up and down the court, like just run, like a fast break, boom, boom, to the point our legs are shaking. We came in like we would go to the point like we like the Kobe thing. We was doing the Kobe thing back then, running the stairs, me and B doing push-ups, the whole nine. And like, so, the dedication was always there. We were like always dedicated, you know what I mean? But we just got distracted with other things in life, as everybody do as kids with girls, and you know how this thing go. But the dedication was there. But y'all, Mount Vernon, come on, man, y'all that was the key. We had to beat Mount Vernon. You already know I was football from Rochelle, Mount Vernon for basketball. Keep it real, you know what I mean? Like Gus and them was before. Come on, son. I played against Gus and Ray. I told you I played against Gus and Ray. Boston brought them to the practice of players.
Right.
So that was an honor in itself. And for Ray and Gus and they said they say Gus came to our games in Mount Vernon. They said Gus never came to a game. Gus came to our games personally because Stan Williams, his brother, all of this history we got, bro, and we playing Mount Vernon, like this is like the highlight of our life, like, you know what I mean? Like Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, there's nothing bigger than that, fam. It's nothing bigger than that to county. Nothing.
How'd you get the nickname Wiz?
Actually, the Wiz came later, when we played Joe. They put in the paper the Wizard, and I didn't, they wasn't calling me the Wizard in the hood, you know what I mean? They would just go, I was Magic, you know what I mean? But Byron was actually Magic, and I was actually Isaiah. You know what I mean? More. You feel what I'm saying? I was more like Isaiah. Byron was more like Magic. But it was the fact that Byron knew that I liked Magic because he liked the Dr. J. So he's the one that introduced me to Magic. Byron told me to watch Magic Johnson's first game. That's how I started liking basketball.
Okay.
Magic Johnson's first game I watched, and I was inspired to play basketball ever since. And to make a long story short with that, he introduced me to Magic, and that's how I started getting the name Magic. But the Wiz didn't come until I played Jaw.
Okay.
The Wizard. And that's how the Wizard became. But I was never the Wizard until I played Mount Vernon and New Rochelle took over. Like after that, it was like the Wizard. The Wizard's coming to play. Like Wizard's coming to play. But that didn't happen until I played Jaw. Bro, that's our dedication. If I can't play, and people come and see me play, I felt like Kobe at that time as far as the mentality. I'm going to play, but if I ain't got no legs. If I ain't got no legs, that's the only way I'm not playing, bro. You know what I mean? I don't care. Byron broke his ankle. You know that game. Yes. And he came back and played. So we both was in there injured at the same time. But I got injured in the first quarter. And to make a long story short, me, Byron, John, and Ben Son played Lou, Tucker, Lamar Smith, Carl, and was it Mitch? Mitch.
Okay.
Remember Mitch?
Yeah.
Got it in. Make a long story short, we went to 100, all the way to like 102, broke back and forth till Lamar got hurt because Hunt hit him, he hit his back, and we had to stop the game. So to make a long story short, Luke told me that day, he said, when you get to the county, son, you ain't gonna be doing it because I dropped 40 at 100 points. I dropped 48 on fucking Luke by myself. You can ask anybody. So I said, that's why I was shooting all my shots on that court. So come on, this is my court.
Right.
So make a long story short, I dropped 40, and Luke was like, yo, you get to the counties, you know how he talk. You get to the counties, son, we ain't doing none of that. And I was like, I'm taking no prime. First, you watch the tape. Go around the first time like I did. Boom, hit the joint. Second time that nigga put his motherfucking knee, and when he hit me so hard on the side of my knee, when I spent, I knew. And when I got it, I couldn't even put no pressure on it. It was throbbing so fast, fam, to the point I was like, yo, I don't even know if I'll get back in this game. But like I said, the determination and the pride if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out with all of this, bro. This is what I worked for. This is what I did to only get to this point. So you're not gonna let me just. So I told him wrap it up. And this dumbass motherfucking trainer we had raps the shit on the wrong area. But I was so hyped. I was like, yo, just throw me back in the game. So from that point on, I just got back in the game. But it's the dedication and the love of the game. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's what these kids don't understand. I love the game. You know what I mean? Right. I was loving the game. So I'm not gonna just sit on the side and just watch my people. Nah, put me in the game. I ripped it through. You know, you see whatever happened, and it was what it was, man. Yo, some great plays. I'm just happy that I came up in an era with great people and great players. You know what I mean? Right. Because it taught me more than just basketball. You know what I mean? Like you said, it taught me when it's down and out, that your character at. You know what I mean? Right. And that's what we come under. And we come under real character. We don't come under this, you know what I mean, just basketball. It's more than just basketball. It's about you as a person. Right. You know, but playing y'all, bro, that left-hand man with you and all that, we had to watch you. I didn't play. When we played our senior year, I only played a quarter and a half. You know that, right? Yeah. Yeah. I had 2 fouls in the first quarter. I didn't get back into the second quarter. I got a third foul in the first 2 minutes. Then I came in after that to get it, and I got another foul. So I didn't get back into the fourth quarter. And when I got in the fourth quarter, I missed that. Remember, I missed that layup at the game? Yeah. Show the Lord if I would have made that layup. Right. If I would have made that layup, that would have put us by 5. Right. What you call it? James fouled. What you call it? What's my man? Terry, was it Terry? Terry Steele. Terry Steele. Yeah. James fouled Terry Steele on the rebound. And that's how y'all got on the line to shoot, go down by 3. Right. Then it took it to the winning 5, but it went down to 1. Right. And then that's when y'all came back and got the throw and y'all got the lead. But if I would have made the layup, I seen Farentino going like this, time out as I'm coming up with the layup. And as I'm doing, I'm looking at Farentino. I'm realizing the ball's fucking rolling off the back of the joint. So I'm turning around. James is like, yo, when I say that, yo, Terry Steele is in the air like, I'm like, oh, I missed that shit. So when Terry Steele did that and James fouls him, if James didn't foul him, that would have been something too because they would have had to come back down the court with time. Right. But James fouled him, that stopped the clock. Right. So when it stopped the clock, y'all got time to do the drop it to 1. Y'all came back, got another possession, y'all scored. Right. And that's when we had the last possession. And Hunt missed the shit off the top, missed the banker. That's how we lost. The last shot of the game, Hunt took the shot. Boom, boom, right off the bank and missed. Right. And I'm like, oh, but brother, I wouldn't change them days for the world, bro. Right. I would never change what we went through. It was the most blessing lesson in the world, like, you know what I mean? And you got to play against greatness to be great. Right. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm trying to tell everybody. How you going to be great and you're going to play against greatness? Right. So y'all was just as great as we was. You know what I'm saying? Y'all pushed us to the point we pushed y'all. You know what I mean? Right. So, brother, I wouldn't trade these days for nothing in the world, bro. I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world, bro. Bro, I had mixed feelings, to be honest with you, because it was like, this is the biggest event that we ever really be having in Westchester. You know what I mean? And it's the biggest thing we got. But kids, you know, we had everybody there. Eh? Like kids, everybody, man. Like parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't just about, you know, we had the whole community there. That's what made me like, how could you do this with kids around like this? You know what I'm saying? This ain't even for you, bro. This is for like the kids to be inspired. You know what I'm saying? So when it happened to me, it was like we was locked in the gym for 2 hours, and you know that night we couldn't leave Mount Vernon for 2 hours. I didn't know that. Our bench cleared. They cleared our bench a minute before the game, and then when the game ended, we had to run up to the locker room and stay in. We was locked in there for like 2 hours. That's when I knew Jim Boston had a gun. Boston got a gun, bad to the point. This brother Todd Lewis, the one that started, he was like, you know, F Mount Vernon, and all your Mount Vernon charged him, and they locked him in the joint. And we in there, and we stuck in there for like 2 hours because they trying to get at him. So we running around with a pool. Y'all got that pool with a pool. You look up top, we running around with a pool ready to jump in the pool. So I'm like, yo, who's coming through the door? To the point it got real serious. So I make a long story short with that. They cleared it out. We had to sit there for like 2 hours. By the time we left, they was throwing shit at our bus, bang, bang, Bronx, all types of shit when we left, man. Like, the shit didn't end like that, but I was totally upset to the fact that we had a great game, man, and a great thing, and end like that for that brother to get shot like that, you know what I mean? He lived, you know what I mean? Like that, thank God he did live. Mm-hmm. But that just threw a whole stain in our whole senior year, you know, because we couldn't play at home no more, you know what I mean? Now that just changed the whole, I wanted them to play at home, you know what I mean? Like, that game we did play, y'all, I understand it was a good game, but it wasn't that what we wanted. You know what I mean? It wasn't the crowd. No, we showed Mount Vernon want the crowd home. So we played y'all in that game, in that close game. I actually cried because my father died before the first. Yeah, see, this is a deep thing. My father died my first day of practice in senior year. He died. I thought it was my grandfather because my grandfather was in the hospital. But my grandfather, he was pushing his father, and he died. So I thought, my grandfather died. So my people's coming to join the first day of practice, like, yo, your father died. I'm like, nah, that's my grandfather. He's like, nah, your father died. So to make a long story short with that first game we played, y'all, I was crying, balling. You can ask Byron, I'm balling like, this game is for my father. So I just started thinking my father. So when I got in that game, if you wind the tape, when I come down the sideline and I made that first little hook shot, somebody said something to me. I was like, fuck that, man. Suck my motherfucker. I was just mad. I was just so mad that not at y'all personally, but I was just mad that my pops died. I was just in the anger. I was like, I'm winning this game regardless what go down. You know what I'm saying? And niggas like one of the brothers on the team was like, yo, bitch, calm down, man, calm down. And I was like, nah, it's on. So make a long story short, it was all cool after that. You already know how we do. We just put all got into the game. But after the game, we love. You know what I mean? But that game, I was crying so hard before the game, because my father had died. So I was just dedicating that game to my father. And if you look at the interview, I was nervous in the interview for some reason, but I wasn't, the game, I wasn't nervous. But when the interview came, everything came back down. And I even realized we even won the game. I was so into the game, and I was just so lost because of my father. You know what I mean? So make a long story short with that, bro, that indoor game that we had in there, man, I still think of that day, like, it touches me because I think of my father, you know what I'm saying? So it touches me in a different way. So I was just dedicating that game to my father, but that was one of the best games that I played. I didn't really make too many mistakes that game. If you watch that game on tape, I didn't make too many mistakes. And we didn't play but our first foul. We didn't spot and sub nobody. And to keep it real, Byron was coaching more of me on the side than Bossy. At that game. Byron was like, yo, telling me certain things. And it helped me out. I ain't gonna lie on that because he was hurt, and Kevin Cooper was hurt at that time we played, Joe.
Right. Yes.
We didn't even have both our people. Right. Byron didn't play and Kevin when we won.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we already knew that when we come into this next game, we got to come right because we already know it's like the Georgetown Villanova. Same thing happened. We went into both joints. Villanova beat Georgetown in the joint, just like y'all beat us.
Right.
I was like, yo, this is like real history going on. Like, this is for real, So we always knew that we could lose to y'all. That's why you had to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, come on, greatness is matching greatness.
Right.
Left hand, man, come on, man. We already knew once you get that 15, man, you better get over there. Ed's going to shoot that shot right there. Right. We already know once you get to a certain area, we know. Ed's going to shoot that shot right there. You got to get over there. B already knew. B knew you like that. You know what I mean? Because you'll play that position.
He's tight. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So we knew each other already, how we got down. So once we got on the court, you already know the intensity was so high. That game, all of our games, our intensity was so high, bro, that the crowd didn't even know how to act. We couldn't even take the ball out on the sidelines. You already seen how it was. We had to back. The refs had to move the crowd. So we sit there for like almost a minute one time in one of the games. We can't even get off the court, son. I'm like, yo, back up.
Right.
The refs like, yo, you got to back up. For like 30 seconds, now I can finally get off the court to take the ball out. The intensity was so high, bro. I wouldn't change it for the world, man. I mean, I just thank God I came around greatness, you know, because we came around a lot of great players, Ed, and like I said, we watched people in our hood. The reason why we was good like that, because we played against grown men when we was kids. So when I was like 10, we was playing against grown men. So one of the grown men, his God bless name, Fee Razor, he would take the ball from me. So once I take it out, he just rip, boom. I get mad, like, yo, he's like, yo, start learning how to dribble with your other hand. Like, oh, man, so next week, rip me again. And I'm going ahead and work my left hand, man, all day. So when he came, he tried to grip me next time, hop, I crossed him. And that's what I'm talking about. You're going to work on your game, work on your game. Me and Byron used to run the stairs 20 times and then come down and do 30 push-ups. We used to do that like 3-4 times a day. Yeah, in high school when we was playing, up the stairs, down the stairs, 30 push-ups. Up the stairs, 6 floors. Down the stairs, 30 push-ups. But we started bringing Hunt, and all our other people to come do it, but nobody could hang out with me and B after that. Everybody would leave. After, you'll do it for a week, only me and Byron's here. But the dedication was there, though, Ed, you know what I mean? And Mount Vernon, New Rochelle history, you can't match that, bro. You can't. It'll never be bigger than that in the hood, especially in our time. I'm not saying because we better than everybody. It just built up to that time, you know what I mean?
Right.
And the time that we played in the most physical time of ball. The ball game changed now. It's no more physical, no more forearming. Come on, fam. You can't forearm a big man. I can't touch you.
Right.
First of all, people don't know why Magic turned his back. Because you could hand check back in the day. So if I'm coming up and I can touch you with my hand, you can't dribble in front of me. Curry can't dribble in front of me. You can't because you can touch you. So I have to turn my back. You understand what I'm saying? I never hate the game because the game taught me a lot, and I love the game. But at the same time, I think they changed a lot of the game to where these kids don't understand the value of the game now. Like, because we didn't be able to do certain things, your game is better or my game is better. It's just certain things that was in the game that changed the game. You know what I mean? So you got to understand, like, if I can't touch a player while you're going around me, you know how difficult it is for me to stop you, bro. So they can score easier. They don't realize that. Like, scoring now is easy. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't do certain things to you. That's why the zone. That's why the zone is needed. And I talk, Mount Vernon, though, y'all was the bestest when it came to basketball. We was the football. No Rochelle.
Right.
It is what it is, man. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Say Mount Vernon was basketball. It's football. It is what it is, man. I mean, I'm just glad that we got to the level to be able to play with you on that level. You know, because New Orleans got to play on that level for our level, basically, to where we beat Mount Vernon twice in the season. Y'all never lost to New Rochelle twice in the season like that.
Right.
So, to even be on that level for that to happen, fam, come on, man, I'm on it. Salute. You know what I mean? Like, everybody want to take the credit and be like they the best. No, you played with the best. That's why you were part of the best, bro. Right. You know what I mean? There ain't nobody better than nobody. I have to play greatness to be great. So I'm not going to try to say I'm over greater than you or better than you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, we come up in the greatest times, King. I try to tell you, son, like, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Salute you, King. You've always been one of the best. I'm saying that not just you on here. I'm saying because you played against me, so I feel I'm one of the best. You got to be one of the best.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, you was, King.
Come on, man.
Yes.
Come on, man.
And I just want to say, you did a job for your father that game, brother, because you was the man, bro, and you slayed our ass, brother.
I tell you, bro, that's why it hits me in a different way every time I talk about it, because it was like I knew it wasn't even me there. It was like I knew he was with me that whole time. You know, somebody said that story about, I think it was Hodges. Somebody said a story about in the NBA, like my father was with, who was it? On the Detroit Pistons, the other guy, Dumars. His father, we had a game like that. His father died. He was hitting every shot. Isaiah was like, he was hitting shots like it was crazy. He wanted to tell him his father died, but when he found out, he said he had to know his father with him. That's how I felt. The same type of way. But
you one of the best that did it. My heart, and not just my heart, a lot of cats on Mount Vernon respect you. They said Wiz was one of the best. Of course, with BK, Coop and all of them, John Hunter. I mean, your whole crew. Chad Williams also, Chad Williams. Yo, yeah. And we love y'all cats, man, and we appreciate y'all. And love to the rivalry, my brother. And thank you for your time.
Basketball, when it came about, I was self-taught. I was like 6'3", almost 6'4", by ninth grade, and I didn't know how to play. My brothers gave me hell. My cousins gave me hell because they were good. They, you know what I mean? They weren't basketball team good, but they were just like street level. You know, and Mount Vernon, it was like when you went to rec center on Wednesdays during the winter, or when you were in Forestry Park or YMCA, they were just good. You know what I mean? And it was just a beautiful thing. I was self-taught. I went and lived with my brother. That was one of the nails in the coffin. That was one of the nails in the coffin about not playing. I was in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and he made me feel so bad that I didn't know how to play because I'm taller than my brother, and he picked me. He picked me to play on the team with these grown men, and I'm like a kid, you know what I mean? And I was like, and I felt so bad, you know? So when I came back home, I ended up coming back home that summer, and you know, I got involved in some stupidity, like selling drugs and stuff like that. And I was in 4th Street Park. Now, here's the thing. I was in 4th Street Park in Mount Vernon. I was on the side when he had the hole in the thing. And the guy rolled on me. I can't mention his name. We good now, though. But he rolled on me because he thought I was stealing his work. And he had his hand behind his back. And I didn't realize what it could have been until it was over. I thought I was going to die right there on 4th Street Park with a basketball in my hand. I thought I was going to learning the game. I thought I was going to die. I went home. I tried to dribble home from the park. I picked the ball up and just walked home because I was just bewildered. That was a Saturday. It was a Saturday at 10 o'clock around September. I never forget because it was back to school. It was before going back to school. September, Saturday night, it was 10 o'clock. When I got up off the ground, it was like 10:12, 10:15. Walked home, sunken Sunday. My mother wasn't home. It sunken Sunday. And come next week, we went back to school and stuff like that. A few weeks in, they had time JV rolled around. I made the team. I made the team. And, a little world opened up different. You know what I mean? I just stayed focused on that. I wasn't very good, but I learned the game fast. Coach Galgano, he, boom, boom. You know what I mean? But the rivalry with New Rochelle, Mount Vernon, I learned it from another perspective. And like the elder said, it really wasn't. The man on the court, you may have had some verbiage, you know what I mean? But it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. New Rochelle, Mount Vernon, and on the court, it was a little pushing and shoving, a little crazy fouls. Like, really? Like, you know what I mean? JV is like some of the guys are JV that I played with was Corey Sorrells, I think the Coleman brothers, Brian Singleton, Avery Smith, and a few others that come to Eric McQueen, Jason Brown. These are gentlemen that, some of them I played baseball with, Mount Vernon. So playing JV and trying to understand what's going on, some of these guys in New Rochelle, when we played them, some of those guys, they look like, they look weird, you know what I mean? They look like us, I guess. You know what I mean? Young, growing into our body. But my first year of varsity for the Knights, and then you saw those same guys that was from Huguenots JV. These guys playing varsity now. Like, these guys like Supermen now. Like, what? Who was that? I was like, I'm not playing against him. Like Carlos could jump. I remember Carlos could jump. Carlos, I forget his last name, but Carlos could jump. He won
Richie Carlos.
Yeah, Richie Carlos. Richie Carlos could jump, but at JV he couldn't dunk. So when we saw him in varsity, like, oh my God, his thing was waiting in the corner. Richie would just wait in the corner, like, out of nowhere, and just like, he'd take about 3 steps, and just boom from the side, and you're like at half court, like, damn. You know what I mean? And then you had Sam Bobbin, like, Sam was to the Huguenots what Eric Coleman was to us. He was like a man-child. So coach would put, like, get Sam, you know what I mean? Like, if I couldn't do nothing with him without fouling, you know what I mean? Because me and Sam, we would be like throwing bows. Eric Coleman knew how to handle him, you know what I mean? And he was younger, you know what I mean? Slightly younger, you know what I mean? So, and his brother, Derek, would always go, get in there, go in there, get him, you know what I mean? So, but, and Kevin Cooper was like, 6'9", 6'10". He wasn't a dirty player, but it was just like, he would just, if you were in the wrong proximity of his elbows, you could hit. You know what I mean? But a lot of them dudes are beautiful dudes, man. And they had another tall dude there. He was I think he might have been the backup center for Kevin Cooper. We were all cool because we ended up playing for a team out of White Plains, Summer League, called Young Life. Young Life, and me, Sean Sanders from Mount Vernon, me, 2 other guys from White Plains, Carlos, Sam, and we'd all tried out for Young Life down at Salem Church in Harlem. And we played with each other, we got to know each other, and it was cool. Mr. Jim Boston. Mr. Jim Boston's like 6'8", 6'9", blacker than Jesus could ever be, good man, masculine. He was masculine, And what I learned from Galgano in a season in JV, in 2 days, I learned the world from Mr. Bostic. And because Mr. Bostic looked like us, it was beautiful. It was a little tense, I think, because it might have been me and Sean, or it might have been, once Sean went with me that Friday or whatever, and then Saturday it was like, or Sunday or Saturday, it was just me. Now, as far as the rivalry, there was really no beef until we saw Groovy Lou on the Huguenots. And we was like, what? We was in the locker room like, what are you doing? Because they had their locker room, in Mount Vernon had our home game, they had their locker room, we had ours. And when he came out, and we was like, who was it, Will Humphrey and all this? Like, Will Humphrey was like, yo, look, this is not new. I was like, that was the high top fade. I was like, what? And Lou was like, he looked, but he didn't look at us. And when he came out because they went out before us, and people was like, why they like that? It was like, they was beefing. They was beefing Mount Vernon, and the girls let him hear it. Because, it was Groovy Lou. Groovy Lou was Mount Vernon. I was like, how could you be with Rochelle? You know what I mean? And that's when I found out the rivalry ain't with us. We love Lou, they love Lou. We knew how Lou was. We knew Lou, I think it was his last year. We knew it was like, he wanted to play. And Reef wanted serious players. Not that Lou wasn't serious, but he didn't pay, he didn't go to the camps. He didn't make the effort. You know what I mean? So definitely when he came down the lane, I made him feel it. You know what I mean? I had to do it. I was known for the NBA picks. That was me. I had the sharp elbows. I was rough. You know what I mean? I made you feel it. You come down the middle, no matter who you were. That was Jim Bostic. Jim Bostic was the one that said, I know how you play. I see how you play. You got to be more aggressive. You know what I mean? This is a man's sport, even though you're a child. You know what I mean? And I remember that, and it's like, Coach Reef and Ferentino, you were in New Rochelle, and you were by yourself, and you was going to the movie. You didn't wear no MV stuff. You know what I mean? You tried to blend in. And they would let you slide if they see us. Like, oh, that's a big dude. Look like he ain't from Mount Vernon, because the hustlers knew. But some of the local people didn't know who you was, and they thought you was one of them, somebody from Largemont or Mamaroneck or something like that coming to the movie theater. But if you had, if you was an 86 and 80 and 84, from 84 to 80 to 90, if you had some MV stuff on and you wasn't an adult handling your business in New Rochelle, they look at you funny, and somebody might say something. I remember being at a movie theater about 84, 83-ish with my boys. It was two of us. We weren't no fighters or nothing like that. It was watching the first movie I went to see with my homeboys was a Prince movie. Because I had a real slick mouth back then. You know what I mean? Still got a little slick mouth. So my man Teron Randolph looked at me like, yo, he gave me a look like, where we at? Oh man, you gotta chill. Because we wait for the bus going home back then. You know what I mean? And there was times you got chased. You got chased up to the graveyard or down by the restaurant under the trestle going back towards what is now Home Depot or what it used to have Harley Davidson. You get chased. And thank God back then I ran fast. You know what I mean? If you was in the mall, you'd be trapped off because you couldn't run to Metro North. Because there was no train there. You'd be running around in circles. And then they block you off and you catch a beat down, in the train joint by the taxi stand. Or you catch a beat down in the Galleria. You know what I mean? Like 4 or 5, it'd be 4 or 5 dudes, and then for some reason it was 4 or 5 more dudes out there, But that was the rivalry. It was just beautiful at that time. You know what I mean?
Blessed to my brother Ronald Williams right here. Nice for life, King.
Thank you.